We know that celebrities have come very, very close to us thanks to social media platforms. But does that mean that we invade their privacy to such an extent that it becomes threatening for them? That's the story. Look at that. Samantha Prabhu, one of the foremost actors in Telugu cinema, also does several South Indian languages. She was mobbed. Indian fandom, I think, lacks complete boundaries. It is often seen that celebrities are treated with a strong sense of entitlement whenever they step out in public. Yes, there is no doubt that fans play a key role in the star's rise to fame. But when entitlement crosses a line, admiration turns into ownership. Privacy blurs, boundaries disappear, and celebrities are increasingly mobbed, pushed, heckled, and placed at risk. The latest incident adds to growing concerns over crowd control and celeb safety. Not even a week after actress Nidhhi Agerwal, who was mobbed in Hyderabad, another top star has faced a similar ordeal. This time around, it's actress Samantha Ruth Prabhu, who was mobbed by a crowd while attending a professional engagement in Hyderabad on Thursday. We're showing you two sets of visuals. On one side is Nidhhi Agerwal, and on the other side, in a black blouse, is of course Samantha Ruth Prabhu, who's newly married. And this is the scenario which unfolds. Fans go berserk. I do not know if they are fans at all. I mean, these seem to be actually men who seem to be on the prowl. I'm not going to mince any words, making the actresses extremely uncomfortable, despite the fact they have security around them. But the security also cannot do much when it comes to mob mentality. Those are the visuals. How unsafe are these celeb actresses? And then what happens to an ordinary woman? What kind of a messaging does it send to men that if the woman is available being the operative word on the streets, then we can pounce on her at any given point. This is despicable. That is what it is. Those two actresses, one had come for an engagement, another for perhaps a cinema event, this is what they face. Now, the videos widely shared on social media platforms show Samantha, of course, I described it. She's dressed in a beautiful silk sari, trying to move from the stage to her vehicle, despite the presence of security. The size of the crowd you saw forced her team to physically actually clear a path, to say, come on, give way, she's a lady. Throughout the chaos, Samantha remained very calm and composed, smiling as she was escorted out safely. But this isn't just about one event or one celeb. It raises a larger question: why do fans feel entitled to celebrities' personal space? Why does fame in India so often come at the cost of privacy and safety? Let's understand what's driving India's growing celebrity obsession. Let me first go across to Harish Bijur, who's a well-known brand guru and founder of Harish Bijur Consults Inc. Thank you so much, Harish, for making the time. It's such a pleasure to be speaking with you. Now, I was going through privacy laws, and one lawyer has written a beautiful article about privacy, written about how it's Article 21. And of course, you know, there will be people who will ogle at you, who will try to touch you, and I don't mean literally, figuratively as well. But celebs have their own privacy laws. I mean, I just don't understand that this doesn't come from fandom at all. This comes from something else, something very sick.
Well, you're so right. I do believe there has been extreme chaos in n numbers of events that have occurred in recent times with celebs. And this could be, I've seen it personally in the case of film stars, I've seen it with cricketers, I've seen it with, of course, politicians, even of all types of people. Which simply means to say that, you know, fans at times call themselves fans, but they are little more than that. So there are three kinds of people. One is a pure fan who possibly is a fan of the art. And second is the fan who's a fan of the art and the persona. And the third is a bit of a gibberish persona who is out there to make the best of whatever comes his way. And therefore, this is common. And sadly, it's the women folk among our stars who face the brunt of it mostly. I've seen it happening with a male film star even. So it's about fans going berserk and three types of fans.
Harish, considering that you are a brand guru, you're somebody who perhaps has much knowledge about these things than the ordinary person. Like I have a semblance of, because in television we see a lot of celebs come over. But you know, one goes through the drill. I mean, their own security team, as well as outside security, the police, about permissions, about controlling the crowds, about which lift they will take and where will it open out, who will be standing there to receive them, which door will they go by, and if the fans really create a ruckus, which is the escape route for these celebs, and that has to be sanitized completely. Tell me, you know, a lot of money is being spent by the celebs themselves, you know, hiring these security people. We see all of them, and some of them, security people, have become stars in their own right, like Salman Khan's security. But the point of the matter is they are spending. Also, the event, I mean, the event where it occurs, I think the police, the local administration, they also get involved. And still we see this, you know, for many people who watch this, they told me, and the older generation, they said, this is a security lapse. Who's to
Oh yeah,
guarantee that what someone did not kind of, we're not even going into molestation here, because we all
oh
know
yeah.
that we live in at the times of social media. Harming her physically, scratching her maybe, you know, or trying to whatever. I mean, spoiling her face. I mean, someone could be a psycho out there. Isn't this a failure on the part of the star security team as well as the local administration?
Yeah, typically, I work with as many as 78 different kinds of celebs on the personal branding side of it. And I've been into meetings where we understand very clearly there are three layers of security. The first layer is the security that the star takes to the venue. And most of the, more popular stars and the richer stars are able to afford that. And the second layer is the organizers of the event who put their own security together. And the third layer happens with the police personnel who are actually deployed whenever a celebrity event happens. Now, this looks like all those three layers have reasonably failed, and I think that is a disaster for sure. You can't have this because the celebrity is a passion, and as far as the fans are concerned, there's irrational passion and there's rational passion. They can go berserk. So I think these three layers must all work. And typically, before an event, a recce is done. It's like a presidential visit to a venue. A pre-recce is done. The security of the star goes out there, looks at it, talks to the security of the event, talks to the local police personnel, and says, what is the crowd turnout? And how are we going to manage it? So all this is actually done back end. But here, it seems to have failed.
But where do we place the onus then? Suppose I'm a celeb, I'd be very disgusted, I would be very, very hurt, I would feel violated. But where does the buck stop for me? I mean, I can tell my own security staff that, you know, you guys did a very bad job, or call up the event organizers and say, what was that I faced? But beyond that, this moment is gone, Harish, and I'm going to bring gender here. You know, I've heard some bizarre comments about this. Or, you know, I'll come to that later. I mean, which is disgusting. But the point is, where does the buck stops, Harish?
The fact remains that in an audience, gender plays a huge, huge role. However much we tend to say that we are, normalized in our heads, I don't think, a fan base is really normalized in their heads. So there's a lot of stuff. So to handle it, actually, the star needs to take a call. Because the star, and I have a whole host of stars. I've told you out of my 78, I think, maybe about 30 of them just don't appear at a public event unless it's something completely big, which simply means to say that you need to take care of yourself. Sad but true, because fans can't be trusted to be okay, because fans come from different mindsets, and I'm only talking the mindset, nothing more than that. Okay, and these mindsets are at times convoluted, genderist, and at times perverse. So I think these are things which we have to factor in. A celeb typically has to factor in all these things, and
Right.
that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of celebs. in public spaces. You don't see a lot of celebs taking a regular airline. You won't find them on an Indigo or an Air India. You'll find them on a charter flight. You won't find them exiting from the same gate as everybody does. There could be a VIP gate, and therefore, n numbers of things such as that.
You talk about how they kind of avoid what is called the regular spaces. I've heard some very bizarre comments, and I said I'll talk to you before I let you go. Is that one is, oh, but these celebs call and invite the paps when they're coming back after a trip, like she did when she was newly married with, her husband and Raj, and they were coming out of an airport. How do the paps know that they are coming? They are invited by their PR. How, and then the second is that, oh, they just do it for publicity, which I think is bizarre, disgusting, and I think they don't need the publicity of this kind. No woman, whether celeb or I or anyone else, would like some strange goon standing there, lumpens trying to touch me. Thank you very much. I know my boundaries. I don't know about them. But the first argument about they call paps, and when we arrive, they suddenly say, oh, don't touch us. Don't you think that they have rights? There is a whole bunch of papers I have here where the lawyer has said every celebrity has rights of privacy and they can go to court on this.
Yes, a celeb has rights to privacy. A lot of them have protected it in courts of law, whether it be in terms of usage of name, usage of picture, usage of mask picture, etc., or personal presence, etc. But the point is that if a celeb calls the paps to a press conference, please, for heaven's sake, that's a business decision the celeb has taken. Please don't grudge her or him or them for what they're doing. And just because they do pose in front of the paps doesn't mean that everyone has a right to do what they want to do and what they want to think. My only request to the fans would be to be fair to your celebrities. Even they have a life, and guess what? They're doing a job, and it's a profession for them. And in the performance of their profession, please let them be. Yeah, because draw that line on fandom. Fandom is good and fandom is bad, and fandom can be ugly. Now, just stop it at good fandom, guys. Forget the bad and the ugly. That's not for us Indians.
Note. Very well said. Thank you very much, Harish Bijur, for joining us
Thank you.
on this opening debate. Thank you indeed. And now, on the same debate, let's get somebody who can actually throw more light when it comes to whether it's a security lapse or perhaps not. Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP Karnataka, is joining us. Thank you so much, Mr. Sahai, for making the time. You know about the case. Two celebrities, two actresses, Nidhhi Agerwal and Samantha Ruth Prabhu, the way they were mobbed trying to touch them. Look at that visual which we are playing. That is Samantha Ruth Prabhu on one side, and we will show you Nidhhi Agerwal, which is really grotesque is the word for me. That is what they are facing. I asked someone before you had joined us on the chat, about there are three security layers. One, by the celeb themselves. Number two, by the event hosts. And the third is by the local administration. Everything seems to have failed here, Sanjay ji. Completely. Look
Yeah, I
at
think
this.
let's break all these layers which we are talking about. This is basically understanding which the celebs have and the outside world has. And also I heard about the privacy part of it. Privacy part of it primarily operates where digital medium or a physical medium, an electronic medium. These are outright crowd management issues. And unless we handle crowd management threadbare, these issues will keep on happening. It has happened at least 3 times in Hyderabad in last nearly 1 year. The security operations primarily operate if you get into Miss World and Miss Universe sort of a thing and very big events. Let's not treat promotional events as anything different. Let's not be under the misconception that the private security agencies who claim to have security knowledge can handle big crowds in very, very adverse sort of situations without exit control, without entry control. Literally, they have nothing under their control. Primarily, the best way in this broken ecosystem is to bring in the police, and the police takes care of the whole thing. It certainly turns out to be costly because we have to pay a price for a private event. But that seems to be the only way out. What is happening over and over again? You see, there is not a presence of a single police personnel. It is treated as a private event. It is treated as a promotional event. And the celebrities, because of their understanding of security, they feel that this is a system. This also happens with large number of businessmen also. So they have a security paraphernalia and they feel that the security paraphernalia is perfectly fine. Till that time, it is ripped apart in a manner which is unimaginable. Now the space, like the Lulu space and all that. So these are the spaces which are public spaces. It is technically you can call private. It is primarily a public space. It has to be understood in that manner. And if you see how the politicians operate, because their whole thing comes from public funding, so the whole organization becomes different. But when they come, there is an advanced security license. I don't think any of these private security agencies and bouncers and even the Lulu Mall and places of that nature have a nature of a credibility where they interact with the police, interact with the government agencies, come for advanced security license and create a foolproof security mechanism.
Right.
We saw in the case of Allu Arjun also. Allu Arjun also.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Pushpa event where there were police, but we saw what a disaster that was, Mr. Sahai.
Yeah, I will come to the Pushpa event also. You're talking about the Sandhya Theatre, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in Sandhya Theatre, they were battling permission, no permission, which entry, which exit. He had his own bouncer, he has his own timings, rightly or wrongly. There's lots about things being talked about that these people wanted him to move and he did not move, whatever be the story. There also, it was a complete messy affair. Police was there and the whole administration tried their level best in a completely messy affair to save their reputation or that they have done their job. Actually, it was not done. So that is where, and there is a complete lack of communication between Allu Arjun security, entourage, paraphernalia, whatever you call it, the way he's supposed to come there, the way he's supposed to go out. The same thing happened with the RCP. There's all the Karnataka police there. When the whole of the Karnataka police was there, the whole of the Karnataka government was there, still it happened. The point is whether it is a broken ecosystem is not a broken ecosystem, whether we have the capability to seamlessly merge the private security agency, the mall management or whichever is the venue management agency and the police in a manner so that we are able to provide a complete safe entry and safe exit and in case of a situation, a safe evacuation. But that is not happening. The
But
way
why?
these people,
Why is it the onus is on the celebs, isn't it, Sanjay ji? That
no, see, there are two things. One is the onus is on the celebs. I will not deny that it is not on the celebs. The onus is on the celebs. Celebs as being they can be called as the business owner of this particular event. Whether they accept or they don't accept is left to them. If you are the business owner, it is your bounden responsibility to get into the detailing and satisfy yourself that things are running hunky-dory. So that they feel that they have outsourced security. It is the job of the other people to handle because they have paid for that. Now that does not work, it is not working. It should have worked, but it is not working. If it is not working, to save your own skin, your own life, your own whatever. So in that circumstances, you have to move a step forward. Might be they require some security experts, crowd management experts to help them guide the private security agencies. Also the hotel, venue management guy. Now you talk of Lulu Mall. Do you have any security guy there who has any expertise of crowd management, exit control, entry control, evacuation, crisis management? They have absolutely nobody.
All right, Sanjay.
They hire a private.
Yeah. Sanjay ji, I wanted to, sorry to interject, sir. I wanted to ask you, apparently the actress, not I, but suppose the actress is going to her friend's wedding or to his engagement and takes personal security, does not think it wise to tell anyone else. She goes to a wedding hall, greets the people and comes out. How does the police even know that she's going to come here?
But generally it works fine. She goes with her private security. Even the guys go with the private security. They are, I think, accustomed and they have the capability to handle small crowds. It is a guarded sort of environment in the sense that there are very few people coming. Nobody knows of that particular event. They go and come back. It is happening. It happens with all sorts of celebs. It happens with all sorts of politicians. It happens with a variety of people. And generally, 99.99% nothing happens. We have been handling such situations where we are unaware of it and a big celebrity and all that, they come and go. And things happen. Now, these are promotional events. There is a clear-cut understanding that this is there to get largest amount of crowd, largest amount of publicity, mileage, all those things. They are the done things in today's marketing. You're creating a brand, you're creating a celeb. You literally create. Nobody wants to be behind covered public media attention.
Okay.
So that is where we are. So that being the case, now it is high time of whatever I understand of it, that the system is primarily threefold. So one is your private security,
Right.
second is whichever event you go, that security, and third is the police. Either the police takes over everything and but for the bouncers and close security, or the event managers, they should have the capability of getting in the police in a manner which it should be professionally done. Why you are talking of only this? We talk about the Assamese singer. So what happened in
Zubeen.
Singapore? Huh? So what happened in Singapore? Today his own cousin is behind bars, right?
Yeah.
So this is where the story is. We are running a broken security ecosystem, and it happens where politicians, you see the Vijay's case, no? They are going in the middle of the road and they want to get 10, 20,000 people. He's permanently on a move. There are 20, 30,000 people.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, they are moving with the celebrity.
Yes.
So it is the celebrity, the event space people, and the police all are responsible. Police comes out today and tells that we have got the information, it is my responsibility. I'll take 360-degree care of that particular celeb
Right.
or that particular. It's not a question of celeb also.
But
It's
then a lot
question
of people would
government.
say, can they, even if you take, you're the cop, you take the responsibility
Yeah.
and say, I'll do
Yeah,
due diligence.
You can.
The-
If there are chances of anything going wrong, it is well within your rights or might be your duty bound to move in and see to it that things are running fine. There can be security instructions given to all these sorts of agencies in the manner they are supposed to conduct security and behave and understand variety of things. If I remember correctly, the private security agencies were literally paid by the government for skill development.
Huh.
Every single security guard, the whole of the private security agencies are controlled by an act. It is not that they are let out free and they can do whatever they feel like.
All right.
And as far as the law is concerned, might be. I'm not going into the detailing of it, but the private security agencies hired for personal security, they also fall under the ambit of law and their duties and everything is decided. They are able to get scot-free and make huge money by the celeb. Is a different story altogether. And the same issue goes, the same thing goes for the venues also.